Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Mark Wilkinson here. Life Remixed leadership series is about to begin in the next week. And I wanted to come online and do a quick preview and just talk to you about some of the things that we're going to be discussing in the Life Remixed leadership series. That many of you will know my book, Life Remixed, been out for about 3.5 years now. That's gone quickly. It's helped a lot of people. And I'm really grateful for the fact that it's done so well and helped so many people across the globe, actually, which is something that I'm really grateful for. So I decided that I wanted to look at this leadership and business and growth series in order to help people really understand themselves, understand other people, and take the fast track to success, communication, and everything else that I've learned over the years that has really benefited me. So you may know, you may have seen across all my socials that I'm doing this leadership growth series. It's very much Life Remixed and Equilibria centric, if you like, because ultimately these are the tools that I've used that have really helped me grow. Absolute shouts out to everyone at Equilibria. I've wanted to work with these guys for many years, and now I do, which is great. So as a team, we are building a huge group of people that are all like-minded and want to understand personality diversity. So because that is really the foundation of things for me. Once I started to understand personality diversity, I got into the fast track, if you like, of learning how to succeed with everyone that I interacted with. So the whole series is Life Remixed and Equilibria Leadership, Business and Growth series. It's starting next Tuesday at 9 a.m. and it's completely complimentary to anyone globally. So you are very welcome to join between 9 and 10 a.m. UK. That's the live sessions. Over 60 people signed up already, which is fantastic. Let's get to 100. And not everyone will be there live, of course, because we'll be in different time zones and around the globe. However, these are all going to be recorded. They'll all be recorded. And therefore, once you register on the link, you will then receive reminders about each session each week with the subjects we're going to be talking about. And you'll be receiving the recordings afterwards as well. So you can raise questions or anything else you want to talk about and you can watch them in the week. Our session, very tight, just straight in. Let's talk about these different subjects that I'm going to share with you shortly. So even if you can't join live, if you're in America and you can't join, because 9 a.m. in the UK is the middle of your night, still sign up and still register because you will get the benefit of all the information. So we would love you to be there, of course, if you can be, but wherever you are in your time zone, you might be busy at work as well, of course, here in the UK or across the rest of the world. That's also totally fine, but it's still register because then you can actually get this information and then listen to it almost like a podcast. And the other thing I really want for the live people, the people that turn up to the live sessions, is very much about sharing your perspective, your experience, your understanding of this information as I go through it, because we all have a perspective and we all have something to offer. So I think it's really, really positive. I'm really looking forward to doing these every single Tuesday, all the way until Christmas, and then all the way through 2025. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And I'm looking forward to connecting with many, many people globally as we go through this. So that's the overview. I will put the link into the chat as well, so that you can just go and sign up there whenever you would like to as well. But from my perspective, it's very much about making sure that we share this information globally to as many people as possible. So good morning. Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Scott. Great to have you here. Yes, and please do share that link that I've just put in the chat box there around the Zoom link. Just sign up on there and get involved. So the first week, next week, we're going to be looking at the foundation of my Life Remixed coaching, my Institute of Leadership approved coaching. We're going to look at e-colours and personality diversity and what that really means to each individual. Now, we're going to start at the beginning, essentially, understanding that we all have four quadrants within our personality and our personality diversity. I am a top colour yellow red, in fact, and my tendencies are very much socialise, engage, and someone said to me yesterday, don't I want to start a podcast? And much as I think a podcast is a great idea, personally, I'd rather connect with you. I'd rather see you. I'd rather be on this Zoom call starting from next week where I can see you and we can have conversations, and we can put that out into the world rather than a podcast sort of sat in a studio. That's me because I'm a yellow and I'm a socializer, and that's what I want to do. So again, we all have different things. There's no right or wrong. But we need to understand this about each other. So if you're a top color red or you have a high red percentage, you're a task orientated person and you like to get things done. And you want to get them done so you can get onto the next task very often. Yellows, as I said, socializers, engagers, want to engage with people. The green part of our personality, or if you have a high green, you're very much analytical and you like to think things through and be detail orientated. Very often you can see a green and they're thinking. You need to give them the space to think. And then the blue side of our personality is the part where we relate to other people. Some people have higher empathy than others, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong. But we need to understand that, and then we can understand how we can enhance teamwork, safety, and leadership and communication via understanding the e-colours and what that person actually needs to hear and how they need to hear it. Alongside all of that, we're going to look at the differences between e-colours and anything else on the market. We're going to talk about the questions that we've asked people, because the questions we've asked people are absolutely phenomenal. Scientifically asked, research, tested the theory of personality diversity into questions like, how could I get hurt? What makes it difficult for me to speak up or stop the job? How do I disrupt teamwork, or how is teamwork disrupted for me? And we did a session last week in Dubai with a really international group of people, and it was fantastic. I sat in Team Yellow with another gentleman from India, continents apart, 10-hour flights apart. And we both just sat there and we had the same personality style, which I loved. I really loved that. It was amazing. So we look at how we can make errors. We look at leadership styles, psychological safety, stress. There's all kinds of subjects we can look at from a personality diversity perspective. So we'll be touching on that starting next week. And that will be week 1. As I say, over 60 people already signed up, and the link is in the chat there if you would like to join us on this leadership series every Tuesday, just like this, but on Zoom, so we can all see each other. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that. So from there, the following week, we're going to look at gratitude and the power of gratitude. Why is it important? What does it do? Wallace Wattles actually said in his book that the solution to all mental health issues is called up in the word gratitude, because if we actually find gratitude for all things and all people, we can actually release ourselves from a lot of stresses and issues. Certainly something that I thought really many years ago, but I tried it and it worked, and that's the key to this information and this leadership information is very much try it out for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. Try it out for yourself, and it really is a game changer, I promise you. I remember thinking when Bob Proctor introduced me to a lot of this information, and then Lewis Senior at Equilibria as well. I remember thinking, well, if it doesn't really work, then I'll write a book about the fact that it doesn't work. But as it turns out, it did work, and I wrote Life Remixed. So that's the key there. So very much about understanding gratitude. Why is it important? How we can actually bring it into our day-to-day lives at work, just as much as with our families, and how we start to get a growth mindset and we start to really achieve things that we didn't think were possible before. The following week, we're going to look at overcoming fears. We're going to look at fears and we're going to understand where they come from. Different personality styles may well have different fears. You might recognize yourself in some of these. The fear of being wrong, or the fear of being criticised, the fear of being not liked. That's a beauty for a yellow, and a fear of upsetting people. So you might notice yourself in some of those as well. But we need to understand ourselves, and then we need to overcome those fears and shift from fear into belief. If we can do that, we have to choose to do it. We have to decide to do it. We have to commit, like going to the gym. We have to get ourselves fit for this. But if we can shift from fear to belief, confidence builds, one step at a time for sure. But if we can do that and we can start to see things start to manifest and turn up in our lives, all of a sudden, life becomes a much more fun and interesting journey. But it takes commitment, it takes steps, it takes time to get there. From there, the following week, we're going to look at purpose, vision, and goals, finding out your why. We're going to talk about defining these items in your life, why they're important, what do you want to do with yourself, how do you envision yourself. Many people have an issue with self-confidence or self-image, and that's what limits them, and they don't actually extend to the success that they could have because of their self-image. So again, that's one of the things that the e-colors taught me. It's great to be me, and also it's great to be you, and therefore let's find out about each other in a really positive fashion. So a really big thing there, of course, understanding that. And again, you don't fix these things in 5 minutes, but I want to actually give this information away and get you thinking about different things in your life and how you can start to apply things that really will give you the positive mental attitude, because you need to build that, but you also need to sustain it. It doesn't come easy. I've been practicing this for probably 20 years now, since my crisis back in central London when I collapsed one day when I was 33. It's so important that we actually understand this, and we start to build and sustain a positive mental attitude. It does take time, but start with your self-awareness, which is, we're going to thread back to that a lot as we go through, and then look for challenges as opportunities to grow. And it does take time, but you can do it. Bringing the gratitude in, all the things we've spoken about up to that point. So again, each week we'll be looking at these subjects and really sharing in depth our own experiences and what we've done to make things happen. Then, as we continue on, we're going to look at communication and conflict resolution. We're going to look at ways to communicate, ways to reduce conflict, or certainly resolve conflict, so we can actually listen to other people. One of the greatest gifts you can give to another person is to listen to them. Once you listen to them, you can then really hear what's being said, not just the words, but actually the emotion beneath it from their subconscious, what's actually going on with that person. We can then learn to communicate and resolve any conflicts very, very quickly and move forward to a positive outcome. We'll then talk about trust and psychological safety, because each of us needs something different. Based on our personality diversity, based on our e-colors and our results from our questionnaire, we need something different. Each of us needs something different. So let's start to understand that, and let's start to appreciate that about each other. Because if we don't, we might think that we're trying to build psychological safety, but actually we're not valuing that other person in the way they need to be valued. And this is how we create high-performing teams. We create high-performing teams in order that we get ourselves into a really great place around trusting each other, around psychological safety. Becomes an absolute win-win. Okay. We will continue on throughout this 13-week journey, and it is going to be 13 weeks, 4 times a year. So every single Tuesday, even when I'm on holiday. Haven't quite worked that one out yet, but I'm sure it'll be great. But certainly, if we can unlock our team potential and then enhance collaboration and efficiency and embrace teamwork, realize our potential, all of a sudden, again, we start to do better. We start to make better sales. We start to engage people. We start to progress. And as a top color yellow with an e-color, I love working with people. That's what I love to do. And all of this is very much people centric. Quite often in life, you see people get promoted to leadership roles because they've been good on the tools, or they've been good, productively making something happen. But when they get put into a leadership role, all of a sudden they realize that they haven't actually necessarily got those people and leadership skills. It actually costs companies a huge amount of money. People don't really leave companies, but they do leave, people. They do leave managers or people that they're not inspired by. So again, we can all understand how this needs to play out, but we can't do anything about it until we've got the information. And I'm going to start sharing this with you weekly, every Tuesday at 9 a.m. because I just think it's important, and I'd love you to be a part of it and understand it. So realizing potential. Then we're going to look at intentional leadership. And a lot of the Equilibria team will be joining me on these calls as well, to share their perspectives globally with the work that they've done in the last 20 years as well. But we're going to look at the art of intentional leadership. How do we actually communicate ourselves in a good way and get intentional results? Therefore, our team is happier, more productive, with less issues, and less attrition rates and turnover of staff, etc. Those kind of things are very, very important. It's all very well hiring people, but retaining them is also very important. They're going to do that if they feel valued, but they're only going to feel valued if you communicate in a way that they can really appreciate and understand. So that art of intentional leadership is going to be a great session as well. We'll look at financial success. We'll look at redefining wealth. And by the time we get to that point, my new book will be lined up, my co-write with Paul Grant. We will be releasing a new book in the new year around money. So that's going to be a very interesting path for many, many people, I believe. So we're looking at new perspectives, understanding ourselves and understanding money is a big thing, because a lot of people have a lot of blocks around that, as I've found out over the years. We'll then look at creating a mastermind group, which is really a powerful thing to do, because if you don't create that mastermind group around you, I heard a great quote once that said, if you could be a millionaire on your own, then you'd be one already, which I really liked. Because ultimately, successful people have a team, a power team around them that they value, that they listen to. But you must create a mastermind group, and we'll talk about how to do that. And then we'll talk about driving growth and content, and understanding how we can engage as many people as possible. And then from there, we'll look at the success mindset, because the big question for a success mindset is, are you interested? Are you like, oh, that's interesting, Mark? Yeah, well, are you interested, or are you committed? When you go to the gym because you want to look a bit better or feel a bit better, are you going, oh, that's interesting, you go for a few days, but you don't commit. It happens a lot, doesn't it, to all of us? But ultimately, the success mindset is, are you interested or are you committed? And I often think, when we get to our rocking chair, or beyond, when we look back on our lives, are we going to think, well, it was all right? Or are we going to say, actually, I was fully committed. I gave absolutely everything to a cause or something that I really believed in order to succeed. And I'm really grateful for the work or whatever I've done in my life. I think that's very, very important. And so I urge you to join us for these sessions, because I think there's going to be a lot that's going to really come across, and people are really going to enjoy these completely complimentary sessions. I've got a few more good mornings to say. So good morning to Matthew Taylor. Great to see you here. And yes, we probably need to do a bit better at the top golf in Dubai. Robert Wallace, onshore or offshore, not sure where you are, Robert, but great to see you here. Duncan Risco as well. Good day, great to see you, and Emma as well, posting a few things. In fact, look, I can show you on screen. I think there you go. Look, there's Duncan. That's great. I can show Robert Wallace there as well. Great to have you on board. Paul Grant saying good morning from Thailand. Great to have you here, Paul. And there's Matthew as well. And Scott. So great to have you guys joining. The other thing as well that I'd love to talk to you about is we are doing a e-colors and stress awareness. What does that mean to each individual person on personality style? Because we do need to understand this. So you can register there. That link I've just put in the group there. You can register for the e-colors and stress awareness to understand what that means to each individual personality style. It's different for every single person. So we need to understand how we're affected by stress, and then how we can manage stress. So I'm going to look at that on November the 1st, because it's Stress Awareness Day on the 6th of November, I think, if I get my dates right. So the 1st of November, we're going to be doing this stress session as well, and understanding how that affects each personality style. So as I say, I'd love you to join these calls. I'd love you to share your perspectives. I'd love you to be a part of what we're doing here, because ultimately what we are doing is helping as many people as possible to grow as individuals. individuals. You know, we're all on our own journey, as is Karen. Hi, Karen. Good morning from Aberdeen. Great to have you on board, Karen. But the key to this is really starting to build ourselves as leaders, as people that are able to communicate and not be emotionally knocked off course by other people. And I'll be sharing all the skills and all the things that I've been working on for the last 20 years in order to create a happy, healthy, wealthy life. And I would love each of you to join us and share your perspectives. As I say, over 60 people already registered for the Life Remixed leadership series. In fact, I can see a few more have already signed up during this call, during this session. So thank you so much. As I say, completely complimentary, and it's going to be fantastic. So mark it in your diary. Do sign up on that Zoom link, or the Zoom links that I've shared there as well. Connect, reach out. I would love to share more of this information with you. We have so many things that we've done in the last 20 years that have really helped people globally to realize their potential. And now is the time to take that onwards and take that upwards, and share more about the upcoming books and upcoming courses and clients that we're working with, etc., etc. So as I say, share the link. It's completely complimentary. I would love to see you every single Tuesday morning from next Tuesday at 9 a.m. UK, so this time, and be a part of the conversation. I think it'll be amazing. So thank you all very much for listening. Do share this to anyone else who you feel may be interested, and let's get as many people online to talk about these subjects and learn and help one another from different personality perspectives. So until then, I may well pop up later this week, but until then, certainly next Tuesday, 9 a.m., get involved and sign up on those links. Okay. Lots of love. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you again very, very soon.